Alright, this video is a video on how to create your cityscape. So with cityscapes, what we're trying to do is we're trying to draw kind of like a landscape, but instead of land and natural formations, we're going to draw what it looks like as a city skyline or a cityscape. So you can see lots of different buildings of all different shapes, all different types of rooftops, different colors. So that's a good one. Here's another one. You can see that along the water. Let's see. This is, well, let's see. Let's look at this one. So there's that one. We've got some quite tall buildings with antenna. And just lots of different size buildings there. So you get the general idea. Here's another good one. Okay, so that's another city skyline or cityscape. And so those are just different. You can see quite a few different ones. Here's one with grass in front of it. That's pretty cool. So that's the idea. So you're going to draw using Google Draw. A cityscape, and then you're going to write a paragraph about your city down here. So the first thing you're going to want to do is to change or to give a name for your city, and so we'll do that by double clicking right here. And then if you're going to give it a name, we'll just call this Sacramento, but you can make up your own name obviously, and then press enter. After you type that in, you'll see that it will move to a certain spot based on how long it is, but you can drag it and center it if it's got that red line down the middle that's centered. If I choose to change the size of my title, I can change the font and the size right here. Going to the font, I'm going to stretch it by making it bigger, and because it's word art basically, so the way I would make it larger is to stretch it instead of giving a point size. I can also fill the color in. This is the color inside the text. If I choose the pencil right here, this is the border color, the color around the text. You can choose how thick that border around is. You can also choose whether you want to have a dashed line, or that doesn't quite look right, but you can choose any of these options there. Okay, so then you're going to go into the shapes right here and start creating your city. So I would just start by taking probably mostly rectangles and just start laying out some shapes. So I can put that one there, I can do another one here. They can be connected, they can overlap, things like that if you want. So I'll just add a few here. Now one of the keys is to be able to zoom in by taking the zoom tool. So I'm going to click on the little plus here, and if I click on the spot where I want to zoom in, if I click it a couple times, click it another time, I get even a little closer. It allows me to get really close, and I can then draw things at a much closer range. It gives me a lot more ability to do things with a lot more detail. So this one here is going to be a window, so I'm going to fill that window. We'll make it yellow. That's fine. One of the things that we can do, and this is a door, so let me just make that black. One of the things that we can do is duplicate things, and so that we don't have to keep making a bunch of the same thing. So if I wanted to duplicate this, I would want to select it first by clicking on it with the selector tool, the arrow tool, and then I can go to copy. So I'm going to click on copy, and then I'm going to go to paste. So copy is Control C, paste is Control V. So I could also use the keyboard shortcut instead. So if I click on it and do Control C, I've copied it. So I can either now go to edit and paste. I've got another one. Okay. Or I can just go to Control V. Once we get our objects here, you can try and level them out. So this one you can see is a little off-centered. So if I grab that one and I see that red line that kind of connects all three, that's one easy way to align things. And then what I can actually do, if you want to get find a real shortcut here, is if you select this object and then you hold down the Control key or the Shift key while you select it, you can select multiple objects. So if I click this one and I hold down Shift or Control, and click this one, and Shift or Control and click this one. Now all three of these are actually selected at once. Okay. So select, hold down Shift, select another one, holding down Shift, click the last one, and then let go of Shift. I'm going to copy now again, so I'm going to do Control C, and then I'm going to do Control V, and I've just copied and pasted the entire row. So you can continue that. Since I've already got it in the computer's memory, I don't need to copy it again. I can just continue to paste. So Control V. There's another one. Whoops. So it's hard to see because I'm zoomed in. And I'll do one more. Control V. Where it ends up when you paste it, sometimes you can't control that. Okay, so now I want to zoom out a little bit so I can see what's going on. So I'm going to click on the arrow right here and go to the word fit, and then I can zoom out and see. So now I'm a little further. Maybe I can zoom back in just a little bit, and I can go back to my selector tool and kind of tweak some of these. So they are individual right now. You can also group them. So let's say I wanted to select this one, and this one using the Shift key again, and then let go of Shift. I could also group them by going to the word Arrange and then Group. And now they're actually going to move as one unit. If I want to break that up, I can go back to Arrange and Ungroup. Okay. Another way of doing it is right-click, and you can go to where it says Group, and so now it's grouped, or right-click and ungroup. Okay, so now they're going to be individual like that. So you can select objects and change the color of the background for the building and so forth. And if you make mistakes, you can just undo. Sometimes you might want to write on a building. There's a couple of ways to do that actually. Okay, one way, the easiest way really, is to take this little tool called a text box and click on that little tool right there, and then draw a box where text goes in. Now the problem is it's going to be pretty big to start off with, probably, so it's 14. That's a lot bigger than the size of this building. So I'm just going to say Bank of America, or you know what, let's just call it bank. Let's just say bank. But it's too big. The text box, it actually goes outside of the text box. You can sort of see how that works there. Okay, so I'm going to select the text box. I've got it selected here. I can move it around by grabbing the blue line part. If you grab the dots, you stretch it obviously and resize it. So if I grab the edge that's not a dot, I move it around. I'm going to shrink it, the text. The smallest size listed there is 6. So this is a text box, so it does have the measurement for font size, unlike our title, which is word art, and word art does not have a size. You just stretch it to the size you want. But this is a text box, so you can also, the other way to change the size is to highlight the text and change the sizes as another option. But it's easy sometimes just to click on the edge of the box and change the size for all the text in the box. Okay. The only time, one advantage to selecting and highlighting inside is maybe only certain letters or certain characters are a different size. So you could do something like that. Okay, I'm going to undo because I don't want to do that. And then I'm going to also click on the edge of the box, and I would like to center the word bank inside of that box. So I'm going to go to this tool right here and center. Now the word bank is in the middle, and I'm going to choose a better looking font, and then let's see if I can stretch it up. I guess that's it. Okay, so you can do that. You can add the word bank to a building or other titles to buildings. Another way to add stuff to a text box, and this is kind of a different way to do it, and it doesn't always work very well, is to actually select a shape, okay, and then double click, okay, and then it turns into a way of it allows you to type in it. But then you have to highlight this. It's a little different. You have to highlight it, or you can click on the shape and then change it. But it doesn't always work right. You can see that it's kind of weird. Okay, so the best way to do it is really undo that. Is really to make a text box and draw a box. So I'll type in hospital using a text box. I can click on the edge of the box. I can change the font of this I can change the color of the font. I can change this one letter, make this one letter larger. I can stretch this out a little bit so that it doesn't go to the next line. And it's kind of weird, this is just the way it is. Sometimes it looks like it's outside the text box, but it's not. Okay, so I'm going to click on the arrow, go back to the word fit, and you can see what it looks like now. Okay, so just get used to using this zoom tool. One of the things about the zoom tool is when you are really close, I think you caught this earlier, let's say this is a parking garage or something. One of the things about the zoom tool is, I'm going to make this, so, you like have an open area here where the car is parked. Maybe this is level 2. But one of the things about the zoom is when you're zoomed in, there are these bars along the bottom that you can slide left and right, and you can slide up and down. So you don't have to change your zoom. You can stay at that level of zoom, but you can move around and see what you're doing and get to different spots. The very last thing that you're going to want to do is to add text. So you're going to click in here, double click, and then backspace, and then type your start with a topic sentence. Okay, and then again, write a paragraph, 5 to 7 sentences, have details in the middle, and a conclusion. So topic, sentence, details, and a conclusion. Okay, and then if you click on the edge of the box, you can do lots of things. You can change the color of the box, you can change the font size and the style and all that stuff. Okay, there you go. Good luck.